Trev's Hockey Show. I'm the Trev. It's too sweet. Anyway, I'm playing catch up. I intentionally gave myself last night off. So I appreciate your patience and the fact that I'm hoping you appreciate my honesty. So, having said that, let's play catch up. Continuing with the NHL Awards. And yesterday, the finalists for the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy were announced. And really, it's hard to pick a winner in this, considering this award is, you give it to anybody for their reason for winning it. It's just anybody nominated for this deserves it ultimately, but there can always only be one winner. But anyway, we're going to go over this year's finalists, and I'm going to give you my pick. Let's see who I think is going to win it. Don't take this one to Vegas. That's all I'm saying. But let's talk about it. Alright, so like we do all the time, the Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy is awarded annually to the player voted best to exemplify the qualities of perseverance, sportsmanship, and dedication to hockey as voted on by the Professional Hockey Writers Association, and will be handed out on June 26th as part of the NHL's award show. And as I said at the beginning of this video, any one of these guys could ultimately deserve to win it, and none of them don't deserve to win it. But again, there can only be one, and this one might be a little bit hard to choose from, to be perfectly honest, but let's dig deeper into this one before I give you my pick. So first nominee is Clayton Keller. Now, near the end of the 21-22 season, Keller would sustain a fractured femur and undergo 6 months of intense rehab to be ready for the start of the 22-23 season. And not only did he make the comeback, he didn't miss a single game. And not only did he not miss a game, he would go on to score 86 points, which ultimately led the Coyotes, which also included 37 goals, which was also in the midst of a 14-game point streak from March 5th to March 31st, which gave him 23 points during that time span. Now, this would be not only a first award for Clayton Keller, but it would be the first Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy for the Arizona Coyotes, as they've never won this in their franchise history. Next finalist, Chris Letang. I suppose this is where I gotta say something nice about him. Give me a second. Okay, so in November of 2022, Chris Letang would miss 12 days because of a stroke. 12 days. Now, this is the second stroke he's had in his career. He had one in the 13-14 season that kept him out 2 months, and he came back in 12 days. But it really didn't seem to impact his play at all, as he would still go on to score 41 points in the 64 games he did play, and led the Penguins in average ice time per game at 24 minutes and 51 seconds during the regular season. Of course, 29 of those points were in the 43 games he played after his return, which also included a 4-point game in January against the Florida Panthers. And this is Letang's second nomination for this award. But if he were to win it, this would be his first Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy and Pittsburgh's third, but their first since 1992-93 when some guy named Mario won it. And next finalist. Third finalist is Alex Stalock. Now, prior to the 22-23 season, Stalock had only been in one game in the 2 seasons prior. And that was because he was diagnosed with myocarditis, which is an inflammation of the heart muscle, in November of 2020 after testing positive for something completely different that we usually don't really talk about here. But in the 2 years since, and after meeting with several doctors, he finally got the clear to play and signed a 1-year deal with Chicago, while finishing the season with a .915-2 record and a 3.01 goals against and a .908 save percentage, which included 2 shutouts in 27 games. So, not bad numbers for, coming back from a heart thing. Those are always tricky things, right? You only get one. Now, if Stalock were to win, it would be his first Bill Masterton and Chicago's third, their first since 2003-2004, after Brian Berard won it. So there's your finalists. Now let's go over a prediction. So as I said, any one of these guys is just. I mean, coming back from a broken femur, that's some pretty big stuff, because I mean, the femur is your biggest bone in your leg, and you know, a second stroke in your career, that's pretty tough. I mean, to come back in 12 days, that's pretty impressive. But at the same token, again, you only get one heart. If you're lucky, you get a transplant, but that's still a pretty scary thing to come back from. So based on that, I would hope that Stalock gets picked to win this award. Because like I said, the heart is a serious thing. You can't really live without a heart. That's like trying to live without a brain. It just can't be done. And I mean, to dedicate those 2 years to making sure you're medically cleared to play, that's pretty dedicated right there. But again, it's a hard award to predict. Anyone could have won it, but this is who I think should win it. Let me know your pick for this year's Bill Masterton Memorial Trophy. So I Trev's Hockey Shows. I want to thank you for tuning in. Don't think I don't appreciate the gesture, especially if you're here. If you've made it here, that's a great thing. I do appreciate that very, very much. So since you're here, you hit like somewhere around there. While you're at it, that red button that says subscribe all over it, come on, you know you want it. You know I want you to. It'll make you feel good, and we're really pressing to 250. So let's make that happen. That social that I never use, it's in the description down below. So move forward. I have one more award to talk about tonight, and 2 more this week, maybe 3. But either way, in the meantime, in between time, been looking for more videos from Trev. Later.